In The Godfather Part 3, when everything seems to be heading toward redemption, we discover that hell can wear sacred robes. Michael Corleone, now aged and weary, is finally trying to leave behind the world of crime and clear his name. But in attempting to legitimize his business, he enters a new labyrinth, much older, much more powerful, and perhaps more dangerous than the mafia itself, the church. Michael is surrounded, from all sides, the ghosts of his past and the pressures of the present close in. His enemies are no longer just street rivals or mafia families. They are public figures, executives, high-ranking clergymen, men respected in the eyes of the world, but rotten within. And in the midst of this web of betrayal, a question arises that reveals the desperation of a man who has seen it all. Is there anyone in the church who's honest? Michael asks this question to Don Tomasino, his old ally in Sicily. Tomasino doesn't hesitate. He gives one name, just one. Michael goes to meet the cardinal. The man he finds is simple, unpretentious. His eyes are calm, his voice serene, but there is a firmness in him that commands respect without raising his voice. In the shadows of the church, Lamberto is like a lone candle in a dark hallway. Seated in the convent garden near a small fountain, the two men talk. Michael hesitates. His soul is too burdened to be laid bare like this. But Lamberto's presence breaks down his defenses. For the first time, he's not facing an enemy, but someone who sees beyond the Corleone name. And then, Michael breaks decades of silence. My brother, he betrayed me, and I killed him. The words fall like stones, and with them, tears. Michael cries, not out of weakness, but release. For the first time, he allows himself to feel. He, the ruthless Don, the cold strategist, is now just a man, full of remorse. Lamberto listens in silence, and when he speaks, he simply says, "The power to forgive belongs to God, and God can forgive everything." Lamberto is not just a good confessor, he is a just man, and that makes him dangerous. When he is elected Pope, taking the name John Paul I, he doesn't just bring faith, but a mission. He knows the Vatican is corrupt. He knows there is a massive scheme operating within the corridors of power in the church, involving the Vatican Bank, powerful company Immobiliare, and names like Archbishop Gilday, Licio Lucchesi, and other white-collar criminals. While many popes choose diplomatic silence, John Paul I begins a reform. He orders audits, investigates the bank, asks where the money of the faithful is going. And by doing so, he lights a fire in the heart of the Vatican. The men behind this scheme are not amateurs. They control millions, manipulate governments, and now see, at the center of it all, a real obstacle, a pope who dares to be honest. The reaction is swift and deadly. While Michael Corleone takes his family to the opera in Palermo, perhaps seeking a moment of peace, perhaps a symbol of closure, violence moves silently. But no longer like in the old days, with street shootings. Now, everything is quiet, precise, lethal. During the performance, the targets are eliminated one by one. Connie offers a poison sweet to Don Altobello. Gilday is pushed from the top of a building. Lucchesi, the man behind it all, is stabbed, a symbolic death for someone who pretended not to see the evil he caused. Outside the theater, the old world bleeds. But inside the Vatican, something even graver happens. In the solitude of his chambers, Pope John Paul I drinks his nightly tea. A simple ritual, seemingly harmless, but that tea contains more than herbs. It contains poison, and with it, the end of an ideal. The scene is silent, there's no scandal, no noise. Just a fallen body, and a convenient official excuse. The only real threat to the rotten structure of the Vatican was eliminated. No gunshots, no blood. Only poison and silence, like the great sins of humanity. Michael defeats his enemies. The corruption is exposed, but at what cost? The only man who offered him redemption, real, spiritual, complete, is dead. Justice taken into one's own hands brought no peace, only more pain. The opera that echoed through the theater now sounds like a funeral march, a slow melody, heavy with symbolism. The Corleone family survives, but what was supposed to be a new beginning ends in tragedy. Cardinal Lamberto wasn't just another piece on Michael's board. He was the opposite of built over 3 films. In a world where everyone has a price, Lamberto was incorruptible. In a universe where power is seized with blood, he offered forgiveness. Amid the darkness, he was light, fragile, yes, but true. And perhaps for that very reason, he couldn't last. The world around him wasn't ready for someone like him. His death marks the end of any illusion, and the beginning of Michael Corleone's true punishment, living with guilt. Living with the knowledge that redemption was within reach, but was lost, because, in the end, the Godfather was never just about crime. It was always about the soul, and Lamberto was the last chance to save it. And you, what do you think of Cardinal Lamberto's role? Do you believe that, had he lived, Michael would have truly found redemption? Or was it already too late to save his soul? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I love reading what you think. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more analyses like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me keep creating this kind of content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next analysis.